Well, hello, it's Adaire Palmer here, and welcome to another show, another session of My Time TV with Adaire, Community TV with Adaire. I'm just getting my guest ready now. We are having so much fun here today. I actually had a lovely girl all organised to come on and have a chat with us about her experience and about what she does as a clairvoyant, psychic medium and paranormal investigator. She is unfortunately, again, having some terrible issues with the internet where she lives. We tried to do some troubleshooting over the week, and then as well, and we've just decided that it was going to be an awful broadcast, and we didn't want that for you. When Curl comes and joins us here on My Time TV, really would love to have a quality broadcast for you to hook into, because I know what she's going to be sharing with us is pretty awesome. So it's Adaire Palmer, and we don't have Curl here today, but I do have a lovely lady called Rosemary Killip who has offered to jump in very, very last moment. Now, this is how last moment it is. I run a group called Women in Business Adelaide, and I put a note in there about 10 minutes ago, and I said, hello, I can see you down there. Hey, Rose. And I run this group, and I just pop this note in there saying, if anybody can help, please do, and we will run with this broadcast, because I could just yammer on for half an hour, which I'm pretty good at doing, but I would think that I would want to make it worth your while to join me for that time. And I know that Rosie has got some excellent stuff. We did actually meet last week, and I will bring her into the show in a moment and have a chat with Rosie about who she is and what she does and how she can help you as, in this case, as a small business owner with her transformational educational program. I'd like to just share with you a little bit about My Time TV and how it all started. It actually started with meditation. Interestingly enough, it wasn't me meditating, although I do meditation as a regular practice, but there was a lovely lady called Linda Elmsley, and she's in our Facebook Codebreakers group, and she was saying when live broadcasting came about, it was she was doing when it was released, I think it was probably a couple of years ago now, but live broadcasting onto Facebook was a thing that we could actually add to a suite of tools that we use to reach people. And Linda was doing once a week morning meditations at 6 a.m. on her business page, and I would get up and join her, and I think she was brilliant. It was so much fun to actually have someone real and live that you could interact with. Not while you're meditating, of course, you might do it energetically, but you certainly wouldn't be, yammering. But and it was a really great. I thought, wow, what a great idea! I wish she did that every day of the week. Then I could get up and I could have somebody to meditate with. And and then I thought, well, and if we had a common place where if Linda didn't want to do it, then maybe other people who were able to share their skills in meditation with the general community might want to do it, so take a turn one day each week. And so the idea of My Time TV was sort of born out of that idea for people to get together and collaborate, share their skills and their knowledge with the community of what it is, like with things that they can do that's going to help and bring value to people in the community. And the other benefit and advantage to that is because we are banding together and collaborating, which I think is absolutely essential in this day and age. I think it may have been hard to do it by yourself, back in the old way of marketing and doing things, but I reckon collaboration now has never been easier, has never been more fun and more rewarding, because we can join forces and put our collective energies into a place where we can do live broadcasting from, and we can also then reach more people effectively. So I have a motto, it's don't compete, create. There is no competition. We could have, sort of 25 network marketers and 15 people who do meditation and yoga and cooking and comedy and whatever else there is ends up on this TV channel. It's not going to be any competition because we are all creating from our own unique perspective. So it is my mission, and I've got a little bit written here. I'm going to have to stick it up here because I sort of know it, but it's to provide a place where small business owners can collaborate to provide valuable information to the communities. See, I'm terrible when I read stuff. I like to add a living better. And I can see Rosie down here. She's laughing at me. Provide valuable information to the communities as well as increasing your exposure here on Facebook. So collab is the way. On that note, I'm going to bring Rosie in to the broadcast. And, wow, welcome, Rosemary. How are you?
Kia ora, hello.
Thank you so much for just popping in and going, yeah, I'm up for it. I can just do this at a second's notice, because that's literally what it was.
Yeah, it's great. Look, and it's one of those things at the time of day I'm calling in from is I'm on Facebook checking out my own kind of audiences and things, and it's just great because this is what collaboration is about. You know, it's not just limited to your area. It is worldwide, it's global. And I've been like literally in the last half hour just messaging people about a whole lot of really interesting things. Some of them business, some of them personal, some of them are political. We've got an election this Saturday, and we've got a 37-year-old woman who could be our Prime Minister, given how the votes go. So it's just fascinating, right? So there's lots to talk about.
I know your accent, but some people who can hear now or who catch the recording might go, well, I'm not quite sure because it is global. So where are you right now?
So I'm literally based in Wellington, New Zealand, which is our capital. And I jump between there and my other business commitments. And I also am building a home in Victor Harbor, South Australia, with my Australian husband. So we'll eventually be bouncing between those two locations primarily.
That's awesome. I think me and my Kiwi husband, who he lives here, but he was when we were over there, he was born in Wellington, and we were talking. We were doing a bit of a tiki tour. I've done several tiki tours around both islands, but it was, I think Russell was where we decided that we were going to build if we go over there. So we've picked a spot over there. So it's sort of like you guys, but in reverse. So
nice. Love it, love it. Russell, beautiful place. For those who don't know it, north of the North Island, a bit warmer than where I am at the capital. You don't move here for the climate, you move here for the politics and to be at the centre of things. And really interesting, right, to ask the question kind of globally about where people have positioned their small business and what brought them there. Very rarely do people start a small business by saying, I'm going to that location because that's a very good place for small businesses. They usually are at that location because it's their family home or where their children are or friends are or beautiful climate, right?
Yeah, all those sheep.
All those sheep, yeah, exactly. If they had a vote, boy, things would be different.
It's funny because I was just looking into a book called The Brain Audit by Sean D'Souza, and he was talking.
Yes.
He went to New Zealand was because of it wasn't for the climate, but it was for all the sheep, because there was so many sheep and so few people, we could really get away from it all.
Oh, look, exactly. I mean, The Brain Audit is such a good book, right? I mean, one of the things that's so lovely about what you were saying before about meditation and all the collaboration is that there's so much we can learn from each other. We can learn from people who have researched and started businesses over different things to us, but they are in the services industry, or they may be professionals or consultants or healers. And I always love it. Like, I've just got a huge library of what I call the self-help books, right? Because I'm interested, it stimulates me. I love autobiographies, and this D'Souza stuff is great, absolutely great, because it then prompts you to think about not only about what's in the book for you, but hey, maybe I could write a book about what I know about,
Yes. No, he's it's really cool to tap into all of that stuff, and I think the collaboration is absolutely key. So I'm really interested. I'll put a link in the above here about your educational transformation program. Now, I do know a little bit about you because we did meet up, not in New Zealand, but we did meet up in Adelaide last week. I'm thinking, what day is it today?
I know.
And and I do, like I said, do know a little bit about you, but I'd like you to perhaps share about the transformational education that the program that you've got, and what you aim, who you want to help with that, and sort of how you sort of go about doing that.
Great, thank you. Well, look, my educational programs are really focused on the small business person. You could own a shop, or you might be in the services industry. You might have a hobby that you think is kind of maybe a great idea and want to monetize it. And I really deal with people who get stuck. They get stuck and they don't know what to do next, or there's too much information and they don't know the first action. So I've spent 25 years as an educator of adults, and I've dealt with both men and women, but it so seems to be that I'm gravitating in my fields of work in two different places. In New Zealand, I have a strong male audience, and in Australia, growing a female audience. But look, I'm open to anyone who's really just stuck. And what I do is I disrupt people from their stuckness and get them back on track and on an action plan. So, because, we can kind of sit there and think, oh, well, I haven't got any followers. I've got a page on Facebook or Instagram, or, I've got my shop out the front and a sign out the front and no one's coming in, and just sit there and get stuck with that. And I'm about saying, well, look, let's unpack what's going on for you and what's happening in the community or in the community online, and see why you're different. What's your point of difference? And I love it when people discover their gap, what's happening in that gap, and be that bit of disruptor. And look, it could be someone just going, I'm going to go and sell ice creams down at the soccer field on a Saturday because no one's doing that. And suddenly they find they're run over, right? And they got a business out of it. Love it.
Or I go, I'm going to set up a TV channel where everybody collaborates because no one's doing that.
Well, exactly. And, it's very interesting. And I find women more so than men, and that's no disrespect, but just as what I find is that we are into collaboration. My male clients in New Zealand keep their businesses very tightly close to their chest, and they might talk to me about it, but they don't talk to each other because they see themselves absolutely as competitors. Whereas I see that if they were collaborating, they'd be stronger. Imagine if you had like a health clinic, virtual health clinic, and said, no matter what your ailment, on this clinic, we've got, people who do hypnotherapy, people who are into nutrition, people who do crystal healing, people who do air candling, whatever, all on that network. So you could get a really holistic group of services together and cut down on all those overheads, have one person helping you doing marketing and admin, doing the accounts and all those bits and bobs, and then really capitalize on being in your strength, because your strength is being the healer.
And I think that would lessen the lonelies too, because...
Oh, yeah, isn't it lonely? I mean, here am I sitting, I work from home. This is my home in New Zealand. And in one of my businesses, I have a virtual team, and we're all mums, and we all work from home. And so what happens here is that they, we connect up once a quarter and we meet face to face, because it's still good to have that connection, because it can get lonely, but having all this availability of the net and being able to collaborate on different platforms is really helpful to go, actually, I'm not alone in my troubles or my successes. I want to tell somebody about the good stuff, and Facebook is excellent for that. What's interesting is when I was in Victor Harbour, South Australia last week, is the common theme all the women said was, well, I realise that I'm not the only one in self-employment who's got this problem or issue, which might be time management, it might be marketing, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think that's brilliant that you can bring the people together and be a facilitator of that. And I think that's really where it starts, and using like a platform like social media is brilliant for that. But I think having that, what I liked about you, Rosie, was that genuine caring and wanting to see the people connect and wanting to see people succeed. And I think that was brilliant. So in terms of, and we have had a few discussions behind the scenes, but when in terms of the sorts of things that you would do, you said you have one program where you get people together and they meet physically. Is that in New Zealand, or is that here, or you're just coming into sort of South?
So look, I have a couple of different ways that I roll. If it's online, what I do is people often, after an event, it may have seen me speak somewhere or at a workshop or a lunch, and say, hey, I've got something I really want to chew through with you. So I have like an action station day where we get together and they solely get me. Now that can be online or in person. It depends on their logistics and mine. And what we do is really peer back, and I do some research on their market, their business, what they're doing, what they're not doing, their web profile, social media, and then I'm just going to generate ideas and they'll be taking scribble notes down. So that's my kind of virtual space. If someone's not quite ready for that, then I do a power hour, and in 1 hour we just kind of nail in and say, okay, where are you at? Where do you want to be? Where's this gap and what's stopping you? And we get stuck into the stuckness place, and then we find out and get some ideas on shifting that energy. And then I have a 12-month mentoring program, and it starts off with an action station day, finishes with that, and then we do quarterly monitoring, and all of that's online. So those are the things that I love doing, because when you collaborate with people in a workshop space or a collaboration space, sometimes people say what they think people want to hear, as opposed to, actually, you know what, I'm really struggling. I'm not making any money, or I don't know what to do next, or I'm thinking about going back and getting a job because of life, or, my kids are sick and that's taking me away from this, or whatever it is. And so I really like, and I'm not afraid to help someone through that space. And that's what I do. That's what I love doing, is bringing people to that place of, let's just get down dirty and real, as I've got today, rolling up my sleeves and getting stuck into their business and finding out what's happening, because I've been that person. It's not like this is like, me being the guru. I'm not. I'm real. I've been that stuck person. I've been in business for 17 years and probably made every mistake you can possibly do. And I thought, well, it's kind of cool where other people learn from your mistakes. So hopefully they don't make those same ones.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. And I think that using your learning and sharing that with other people is absolutely brilliant what you do. I did have a question here about what would you say your superpowers were, but I think that you sort of described them, and I think if I paraphrase it, it's actually helping somebody to get outside of their head and emptying it onto the table, and then rearranging whatever it is that's there so that they can see a pathway through to action, being a bit more action orientated. So
yeah, and I think if I was answering that, I'd say my superpower is just cutting right through the crap. You know, like people put a lot of stuff in the way. Oh, well, you know, I can't do this because I've only just started up, or I'm in this little community, or I've only got, you know, da-di-da, I haven't got any money. Like there's always an excuse or something in the way, and I just cut right through that stuff. And with love and care to say, actually, let me say this to you, you know, are you open to hearing what I'm seeing? With my glasses, you know, I'm seeing a different picture than the one you're giving me. And that might be the one thing that's really the barrier, not the one that's intellectual, the one that I see. I think there's that part of me that is, you know, as healing people do, they can see into healing ailments when people don't even know what's wrong with them. And particularly with hypnotherapy, as you well know, you know, there's a subconscious space. And I feel like I've been given that gift to go straight into the stuff that people aren't saying out of their mouth, but is in their heart, that is stopping, blocking, and getting them there. And sometimes people go, have you been stalking me? Have you been talking to my sister, my friends, my husband? Because that's actually true. And I'm like, I've just met them, and I go, bang, and they go, wow.
So that, and I think that's, I've been through that, and I probably will continue to go through that sort of stuff. I think you don't ever get there. It's cyclic. That's been my experience.
And definitely those things that come in waves, right? I find just when you think you've got it together, something else does a wrinkle. It's really funny. Just in one of my businesses, I've got a woman who's got a young child, and she's just amazing. And I'm like, ooh, I can't wait till the child, this is me selfishly, can't wait till the child goes to daycare a little bit more so I can have her a little bit more, right? Because she's a fantastic mother as well. Well, when I came back to New Zealand after meeting you, yesterday she said to me, guess what? I went, what? She goes, I'm pregnant again. And I'm like, yay, no. Yay, no. And I'm going, I remember that phase of my life, like the joy when you've been wanting to conceive, that you've got another child on the way. That's fantastic. And so the womanly part of me is like, go, fantastic, good on you. And the business part of me is like, no, please no. And it's a phase, right? Because now I'm going to have to rethink, okay, so how are we going to manage in a temporary way? Because she wants to come back, right? She wants to be back involved. But you and I probably know that some of those outside influences, like, you know, how's this? At about 2 hours ago, we had an earthquake here, right?
Oh, really?
So there was a 5 point on the Richter scale, right? And so I'm busy tapping away. Everything's fine. Yeah. So you felt it. You know, we felt it. And nothing's damaged, nothing's broken, nothing's fallen off my walls. But that disruption of the weather, you know, you plan as a building person to go out and do some building work today, and it starts raining or you get whatever wind and whatnot, well, that completely disrupts your day. So factoring in, what I love with the navigational coaching I do is to factor in those sort of life events and natural disasters, quite frankly. What's their backup plan? What have they got going on? And like, this is synchronistic, you know, when somebody has a technology failure, it's like you just ask the question, well, who else is out there who doesn't have one? And like, that's me.
Yeah, I know. I think that's, I think it's, what they call it, serendipitous. But I really do want to talk to Kel. We've tried twice, and I had the backup plan for the first time, which was good. And then this time we thought, no, we reckon we're all good. And then it was, no, we're not that good after all. But I just think and so I had a choice. I could either can it or I could put the word out. And I thought, well, you know what? I could, three choices actually. I could can it, I could put out the word to, you know, to see if someone else was out there, which you accepted. Grateful. I'm so grateful for that. or I could have just waffled on for half an hour by myself. I actually did have something that I was really, really excited about. We're in soft launch at the moment. It's a website called Find the Best One. And I thought the guy who's developed it, he spent years and sold his firstborn to do it. Not just joking about the firstborn, but he spent years developing this and getting it to a point where and it's only for South Australia at this point, but we're in soft launch as of the 15th of this month. And he's wanting to make sure it's all tweaked and everything works before we sort of go into a more formal launch of it. And I'm thinking, I know he's in the air at the moment on his way to the UK, and I'm the community manager. Maybe I could, no. That's evil Adaire jumping the gun, and he probably would, because he was quite clear. He said, don't make it big until we're ready. We'll sort of step it out and make sure that we can get any bugs ironed out. So I thought, okay, as enthusiastic as I am about this, I probably thought, I had second thoughts.
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited when you do launch. I mean, that sounds delightful. Find the best one. Neat.
Find the best one. And it's a multifaceted website where it's not like, sort of Google or True Local, or it's I actually will do a program on it, and I will interview him when we're sort of up and running, and we've got a few people that are testing the system out now. So it is really quite exciting, and it's very unique. There's nothing quite like it out there. But I've got a question here from Hukam Khan, who's saying, Adaire, we're from you. So I'm in Adelaide, South Australia. And did you just have a photo bomb?
That was a hug. There was a photo bomb from my able assistant.
Oh, well, I was actually reading that, and I just saw someone sort of come and go. So I'm from Adelaide in South Australia, and Rosie is from Wellington, New Zealand, but also will be residing in Victor Harbour, which is also just on the, I was going to say the outskirts of Adelaide, but it almost is now, isn't it?
Getting closer.
Getting closer. Adelaide's growing out to Victor Harbour. It used to be the town where you go for the summer holidays, and it's sort of, now it's almost like another suburb that you just go down for a day trip or something like that. So my how things change. Or you build a house there if you love it. So I'd like to thank you very, very much for joining me. But what I would like to say is, where can people find you? I have put a link to your business page up there. Thank you.
So look, it's been an absolute pleasure, and people can find me at www.rosemary.com. So that's the place that you can find that, and I'd love you to drop down there at the bottom of that page and sign up for my Top Tips newsletter, and then we can keep in touch.
Beautiful. I'm just going to jump onto, I could type it in the platform here, but it's not a clickable link. So I've got two screens, and I need to go into my into the Facebook thing, because here I'm looking at a different platform. I am using Be Live TV, which is a fantastic platform for screen sharing, doing interviews. You can, little plug for Be Live TV. I'm also a admin and moderator in the Be Live community, and they are going great guns, doing great things in bringing the capacity for the normal everyday person to become a star in their own teacup.
Nice.
Providing like real value to community, and I can see that there is just such a huge opportunity for this type of thing, for like everybody to do it. So I'm just going to put my computer will just go a little bit faster, and I will put it in. So it was
Rosemary, KILLIP.com.
.com. Yep. There we go. So that should be a clickable link.
That's us. Perfect.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It's so cool to see you again.
Thank you.
Feeling like I'm getting to know you really well, and that's just delightful. And I look forward to you coming back to Adelaide. So you'll be regularly back here and spending more time here, and we will be talking again very soon. So
fantastic.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Adaire. All the best. Bye for now.
Bye. And that was Rosemary Killip, and she is a transformational educator who is here to help small business owners who are stuck a little bit outside the scope of what we're aiming for here on My Time TV. But I am absolutely ever so grateful to be able to talk to Rosemary and to catch up with her, offer you, if you're a small business owner, an opportunity to tap into what Rosie has to offer and help yourself get unstuck. So check her out down there, the website www.rosemarykillip.com, or up here there is her business page, which is called, I think I did get organised there, it's just called Rosemary Killip, and you can click on that and go to her business page and check her out. So next week we will be back, and I think we've got someone talking about autism. I'm pretty sure. I need to get my notes out, but I will be advertising that anyway at the beginning of next week and circulating that. So we'll be looking at support for parents and carers of people or kids with autism or Asperger's or on the spectrum. So I will see you next week on My Time TV. Remember, it's TV for you by TV from me. It's Adaire Palmer. See you later.